go on in about 9 minutes, but I wanted to say hello. I am Cindy Wells, your 4-H Extension Agent from Missouri in Buchanan and Andrew counties. I'm glad that you're all here. I am going to have an activity today on STEM, actually 3 activities, so I hope you're excited as I am. I'm very excited to be part of this live that 4-H, Missouri 4-H is having. We're going to have this at 3:30 p.m. every Monday through Friday for about the next 9 weeks. Each week we'll have a different focus. This week's focus was STEM. We have other focuses that are posted on the Missouri 4-H page. I want to make sure that you understand that this is open to 4-H and everybody in Missouri and other states. Since we still have about 8 minutes or so before we begin, if you want to share this post or this live with anybody else, please let everybody know that it's available. This is not a project per se. This is an activity that is an addition and a supplement to 4-H projects, so it is for everybody. It is not meant to take the place of 4-H projects. It's available to 4-Hers and others, as well as those in other states. So please, once we get started, I'll ask you to type in the box where you're all from. I'm just kind of curious to see who are all serving. Remind again that you do not have to be a part of 4-H. This is an additional resource apart from 4-H projects. Now remember, the age ranges vary, so we'll have some younger youth as well as older youth and even adults. For some of these activities, the younger youth may need some help from either older siblings or mom or dad or the other adult in the room. Older kids, you may find these activities fun. You may find them a little bit not so fun for your age group, but keep in mind these are great public speaking opportunities. Some of the topics you can build on and do for your public speaking. They also will make great demonstrations that you will be able to do for your 4-H Achievement Day that's coming up. Remember, it's Facebook Live, so you're able to post comments, likes, ask questions as we go, so please feel free to do that. Again, share the video out to everyone that might be interested, and we're going to go ahead and I'm going to stop for now, and we'll be going in about 6 minutes. See you soon. Okay, everyone. Hopefully you can hear me. We are going to get started, and we are again here on Missouri 4-H Live. I am Cindy Wells, 4-H Youth Development Specialist, and please forgive my living room, my living room stage, if you will. I've tried to do the best I can, but please bear with me as I try to perform these activities, also be live, and also be nervous because I know my hair's a mess. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and get started. Again, I'm Cindy Wells from Missouri 4-H. I am centered in Buchanan and Andrew counties up here in the northwest corner. I am very happy to be part of this Missouri 4-H Live. We have this week, we started this from Tuesday through Thursday at 3:30, and since then it has expanded. We are now going to be Monday through Friday at 3:30 p.m. every day, and we will be doing this for approximately the next 9 weeks, depending on how things go, of course. I am so thrilled to be part of this. This is my first time being live. So again, bear with me. Remember, this 4-H is 4-H Live, so that means we are live, so feel free to ask questions. You might type in the chat box or the comment box where you're all from. I know we've been getting some people watching from out of state, which is exciting. Also, all you wonderful people in state, thank you for tuning in. Make sure to know that you can comment, ask questions, or like us, hopefully, as we go, so please keep that in mind. This week on 4-H Live, we have been covering STEAM topics, which of course stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, Arts, and Math, which is very much a key in people's careers and lives right now. Today, we are actually going to continue with some STEAM activities, and we're going to do 3 short activities. I tried to find activities that anyone could do from home, fun activities that will teach you things. But your materials would be there since a lot of people can't get out right now. So I wanted to make sure and try to do that. I'm going to move my sheet back over that kind of tells what experiment we're doing. We're going to start obviously with activity 1. Again, welcome. Activity 1, we are going to talk about paper straw rockets. The materials you need are drinking straw or two, a piece of typing paper, lightweight paper, some tape, and markers are optional, and you'll see why here in just a few minutes. Now, the topics we're going to kind of cover is flight and also engineering. You are actually going to be designing a paper rocket, and you will be flying it using a paper straw. So bear with me here. I'm going to go ahead and start into the activity. First thing you'll need is a piece of paper. So get your piece of paper, and with the full sheet, what you do, let me grab my prop here. You are going to fold the sheet in half long ways. So you have your 11.5 or your 11 inches. Fold it in half. So you have half a sheet of paper folded. You then fold that in half again. So then you have this kind of shape. And then you're going to fold that in half one more time. Okay. When you unfold it, you come up with a piece of paper like this. And what we need just one section of this. So I'm going to take my scissors and I am going to cut that piece of paper. Okay, you can go ahead and cut another piece of paper if you think you might want another rocket to experiment with. So I'm going to go ahead and cut two. You then take a pencil, and I'm just going to take and wrap that piece of paper around the pencil, fairly tight, not so tight you can't slide it off, but fairly tight. Okay, so then you have a paper roll. Take a piece of tape or two. You don't want a lot of tape because we don't want to make our rockets heavy, of course. So we will tape that. I just taped it on this end. I'm then going to slide this off, and you have your paper tube. Now, we are going to make the nose, or actually the nose of our rocket, and what we're going to do is we're going to take and we're going to fold this. I'm going to fold it in, and then fold it in one more time so I have my paper with the little thing. Take a piece of tape and then tape that nose down, if you will. So just put your tape right over the edge. Okay, so we have our paper tube. I'm going to lay that down for a second. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a piece of paper and we're going to cut a triangular fin. And most rockets have two of those, so we're going to need to cut two. Okay, with the fin, you take a piece of tape and you're going to attach it to your rocket. So I take another little piece of tape, take my triangle, and tape it to my rocket. Make sure the tape's not in the way. You're going to maybe want to move that fin, so make sure and keep it kind of free. Tape the other fin to the other side of your rocket. So I have both fins on my rocket now. You can see the fins can move, but you can see I have two little fins. Here's the one I made earlier. You can see I have the two fins and they're movable. You can also tape them more later on. Okay, so I have my rocket with the fins. I have the nose taped in so there's no air that can go through there. And then I'm going to take and I'm going to get a straw. This can be any straw. I happen to have a paper straw. You can also use plastic straws. You can get the big straws as long as they'll go up in your paper rocket. This one won't, so I can't use it. So I'm going to use this paper straw, slide it up in the rocket, and then to launch the rocket, this is the fun part, I am going to make sure my fins are on both sides, and I'm going to take, and I'm simply going to blow. I'm going to blow mine straight up in the air. You can practice with this. This is part of the fun of this experiment. There's lots of different things we can do. Okay, mine went straight up, hit my ceiling, and came back down. Now, you can also test it horizontally. I tested mine vertically. You can also take and hold it horizontal and blow. And mine happened to hit my patio door. So that's also lots of fun. I had made two rockets, so I'm going to experiment with the second one. Okay, it didn't go quite as tall, so there's something different in those two designs. What I would do now, I'm going to move on to the second activity here very quickly, but we did talk about flight. We mimicked, I can't see that, we mimicked the flight of a rocket. Obviously, NASA puts much more thought into the rocket than we did, but with the fins especially, as you further this experiment, you already have your rocket, so experiment with taking the fins off, maybe putting more fins on, taping them different, bending them differently, maybe use a different kind of straw. I used a paper straw. Maybe that paper straw makes a difference in the way things go. That is something you can experiment with. Use a scientific method and change some things. Change some things up. Okay. Couple questions. We just demonstrated how real rockets fly through the atmosphere. Drag is what scientists call the force of air getting in your rocket's way. So when we blow and the rocket goes up, it's fighting against the drag. Thanks to gravity, the rocket's weight, even though these paper rockets aren't very heavy, always pull it back down to Earth, which is why mine went up to the ceiling, then came back down and hit the floor. Okay, the lighter you make your rocket, so less paper, less tape. I can maybe make my piece of paper that I bent smaller, so it wouldn't be as heavy. I use fairly big pieces of tape, so maybe using a little bit smaller piece of tape might help. That would make it have less drag, and the further your rocket will go. Fins help stabilize this rocket's flight, and the size of the design of the fins on the rocket can show you how well it can be controlled. So again, experiment with that. Less paper, less tape, design fins differently, put more fins on, less fins on, bend those fins. Lots of things you can do, just all with a piece of paper and a paper straw. Okay, next thing I'm getting ready to do is we are going to make a pencil bend. Have you ever made a pencil bend? I've never done that. What we're going to do is activity 2 is called Bend a Pencil. The materials you need are a tall clear glass container. I happen to have a jar, and I'll show you a couple other things we could have. Water and a pencil. And we're going to be studying refraction, okay? First thing I'm going to do is get my jar. Now, I have a bigger jar, and you can do that, but my pencil's not very big, so I'm going to use the pint jar, okay? You could also use a tall glass a cup if you have one, or you could use a tall glass vase. It has to be clear, and you don't want it very tall because you're actually going to put a pencil down in it and have to hang on to it. So I could actually, with this pencil, use the quart jar, excuse me, but I thought it would show better with the pint. So I'm going to use the pint jar today. The first thing you're going to have to do is get some water for your jar. So I'm going to get some water here, and I'm going to pour that into my jar. And I'm going to put mine about, 3/4 full, I'd say. Okay, let me set my water down. And I have 2 different kinds of pencils. I have an Eversharp, and I have just a regular pencil. Okay, it doesn't matter which one you use. We may even try this with a straw here in a minute and see if that makes any difference. Okay, what I want you to do is take your glass of water, stick your pencil in, and then look at it from the side. If you will look, it looks like your pencil has shifted in the water. It looks like you've actually broke that pencil, and the part that's in the water is to the left of where you'd expect it to be. Now, if you'll look at this, if you'll notice in the water, do you notice my pencil looks bigger? Water also acts as a magnification agent, so it does make the pencil look bigger in that jar of water. If you look again, you have to get right at the edge of the water, but you can see that the pencil is not only bigger, it's shifted. That is due to the refraction of light in that medium or the water. Another thing that's really kind of cool to watch. Now, let me back up. That is called an optical illusion because your eyes are seeing your pencil bent or to the left. If you pull it out, it still looks the same as it did. It looks straight to me. So I'm not sure that made a difference. Let's see if the Eversharp does the same thing. It's even more pronounced in my mind. The bottom again looks bigger. You can even see that in the camera. See how much bigger it looks? And then if you get, and you may need to move the pencil closer to your line of vision, But if you look at the line of the water, you can see that the pencil looks like it shifts over. So that's kind of interesting. Pull the pencil out, it looks the same as it did before. Optical illusion. Another thing you can do, and this will not work in this lit room, this will work really well at night, is take a flashlight and shine it through just a jar. And you're going to see a spot of light, okay? And it will be on the wall or whatever you happen to be doing. Next, take your light, shine it through the water, and you can kind of see, you see the spot of light, but you also see it glowing, okay? You can see the glowing of the water. Okay, so try that, especially in the dark room. It's really, really interesting to see that. Okay, we are moving on. I'm going to look. I don't see any questions. Does anyone have any questions at this point? Okay, not seeing any. I'm going to move right on. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is do an experiment called Magic Pepper. And I need to shift some things over because I'm going to have my room that I have here on my table. This is called Magic Pepper, excuse me. For your materials, you need a couple bowls. You will need some water. You will need some pepper. You'll need either a Q-tip or a toothpick. It's kind of fun to try it with both. And you'll need some pepper, of course. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is take my shallow bowl. And I have white, so it's easy to see. Pour just a little bit of water in it. And I made a mess, but that's okay. Next, you take pepper. And I'm going to bend my computer screen because I'm actually using the computer, my camera built into my computer. So you can see, I'm just shaking some pepper on top of this. You want the top of it pretty focused or pretty covered. Hopefully you can kind of see that. Can you see the pepper? Okay. Now, I'm going to take my Q-tip, some dish soap, and I just have Ajax. It doesn't matter what brand. And I'm going to get dish soap on my Q-tip. Okay, and I'm not sure how I'm going to get this to work. Well, it's not going to now. Okay, let me try this again. Okay, there's my water. Here's my pepper. I have my soap. You can see the pepper. Notice how the pepper goes away from the Q-tip. Notice it's all along the edge now. Can everybody see that, I hope? Okay. Give me just a second to wipe up my water before it gets into my computer. Okay. Let me go dump this bowl real quick because I want to show you how it works with the toothpick. Be right back. Okay, I am back. I have my bowl, the same bowl. I went and washed it out with clear water, as you can see. I am going to very quickly shake some pepper in that again. Notice that I have the pepper floating on top. Okay, now I am going to grab a toothpick. I am going to stick it down in the soap and get it covered. I don't know if you can see that, but it's covered with some dish soap. And I'm now going to get ready to touch the top of the bowl. With that. And again, it scatters away, goes to the sides of the bowl. Okay, we have done 3 different activities today. This is all about surface tension, okay? Surface tension of the water. Let me see my notes here. Okay, This is called surface tension. And what we did, the shallow bowl had surface tension. The water does, so it holds things on top. Sprinkled the pepper. It spread out over the top of the water. When I took the dish soap on the Q-tip or the toothpick, when you touch the water, it breaks the surface tension. That surface tension then makes the pepper or anything on top move. Now, a cool experiment that would also be really fun with this is if you took some glitter. I did not have glitter. I looked. I think my granddaughter's taken it home with her because I know I did have some. But if you take this water, sprinkle carefully now. Don't just throw it in there, but sprinkle it over the top. Let it float. And then do the same thing. Take a Q-tip with dish soap or a toothpick with dish soap and simply touch it to the glitter. The glitter is going to scatter. Now, I tried this with chili pepper. And I wasn't for sure if I'd have enough time to do that today or not. But what I did is I took and shook this chili pepper in just like I did the black pepper. And what happened is the chili pepper's a little heavier, so it sank to the bottom. But what I found out is when I took my dish soap soaked Q-tip, touch it to the top, of course not much happened. But if I touched it clear to the bottom of the bowl where the chili pepper was, the chili pepper did the same thing as our pepper just did. It scattered to the edges of the bowl, even though it was on the bottom. So you end up with the clear bottom of the bowl and everything going up to the sides of your bowl. So try it. There's some cool things. Most people have some chili pepper, a bowl and water around with a Q-tip and some dish soap, or a toothpick and some dish soap. Try the different materials. Obviously, kids, get your mom's permission to raid her spice cabinet, but anything that will shake in, you should be able to do this experiment with. See how the different weights of stuff reacts, like the chili pepper and the black pepper's different weight. It reacts differently. The time is a little bit different. The black pepper on top of the water reacts almost immediately. When you do the chili pepper that sinks to the bottom, it does not react as quickly, okay? But it's a fun experiment. Lots of things that you can do. I want you to use some of the scientific methods. So look at it and say, I wonder what happens if I mix the two. What if I put pepper and chili pepper in there? What happens? Which one will react first? Will that even work? Maybe glitter and pepper would work well. I don't know. I haven't tried that one. But those are some experiments, some things you can do using our scientific method, if you will. Also, make sure and reflect on what happened. Okay, why do you think that happened? Not just did it happen, but why did the pepper separate more quickly than the chili pepper did? Would different ingredients, so instead of dish soap, would hand soap work differently? Would it make it react more quickly? Think about those things for all these experiments. The paper rocket. When I design my paper rocket, if I use less paper, maybe I make a shorter paper rocket. Maybe I make the fins. Instead of 2, I do 4. Maybe I just do 1. What happens if I don't put any fins on it? There's lots of things you guys can do to test your scientific method. I encourage you to experiment with that. Now, that's all the activities I have. At this point, I'm still not seeing any questions. So I am going to go ahead and I want to thank you all again for having me come into your room or to your space, watching me on Facebook Live. I hope I wasn't too bad. This is the first time I've ever shot a live video, so it's quite interesting. I appreciate you guys stopping in. Again, leave a comment as to where you're from. Ideas for future sessions would be great. If you look at the Missouri 4-H page, you can see for the next few weeks we have different topics every single week. So please tune in. Again, share this with everybody. This isn't just for 4-Hers. You older youth, please look at some of the topics we have, and you can go back and do some public speaking about those, do a demonstration, help the young ones do these experiments, because most of them are being done with things you can find around the house. Also, don't forget, this is, again, for anybody. If you haven't joined 4-H and found out all that 4-H is about, please share this with those folks as well and encourage them to join us in 4-H so they can learn about everything that we do. We will, again, be doing this for the next approximately 9 weeks. We're going to see what the future holds. But and look for Missouri 4-H to have more things listed. There's a lot of things in the works. Look for some big announcements next Monday, probably, about some things we'll be doing, not only just at 3:30 p.m., but things during the day, different days of the week, and so forth. Missouri 4-H has got a lot of planning going on right now, and we're really looking forward to sharing that with everybody. Okay. That being said, don't forget to share this video. It is 4-H Live, but it will be shown as a video now that you can share, so share it widely. Again, if you have any questions, just send them to 4-H, Missouri 4-H, and we'll make sure and get those answered. Without seeing other questions in the chat box, I appreciate you guys' time. Have a great day.